TOA, Fit Body Forever, and Fit Body Bootcamp communities. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Robert Linkul, your Director of Education over at Fit Body Bootcamp and the owner of TrainingTheOlderAdult.com, here to share screen with you and go through part 2 of objections that clients have to working with a personal trainer and or signing up for a personal training program. If you missed part 1, please go back one video and take a look at that. You'll be able to see exactly what those first 4 objections were and some strategies that I was able to provide to help you in your discussions with your clients to overcome them. All right, we're picking up here using our buddy ChatGPT. This is my first time using AI of any sort. So other than the Google search engines that automatically appear on my website, this is my first time literally going to the website and typing in something. So here we go. Number 5. A bad past experience. I've had a bad trainer before and it didn't work out. Maybe the trainer was unprofessional or overly aggressive or they didn't listen, etc. All right. So when I have my first sit down with a client and I might ask them, what is your current fitness routine? And because remember, you don't want to make the assumptions that someone isn't exercising right now. I remember Rachel Cosgrove talked about this once and she asked somebody, obviously, she said something along these lines. It wasn't this rude, but I'm just saying, obviously you're not exercising, what would the ideal exercise routine be for you or something like that? And the client said, because this person was very, very overweight. And the client said, well, I was 400 pounds. Now I'm 300. I've been exercising, every other day, yada, yada, gave her the whole routine. And she was like, oh, geez, I'm really sorry. Just made the assumption, basically, that because the person was still 300 pounds, like literally 100 pounds, 150 pounds more than she needed to be. She was 400, and so she's on her way. But to make the assumption that she's not exercising, we don't want to do that. So we ask them, what is your current fitness routine? And if they say, well, I don't have one, or I was working out with a trainer before, but whatever the explanation is. We didn't jive. I didn't like the workouts. It was too expensive, whatever it was about the trainer. And that's when you can say, okay, well, I understand that. Not every trainer is a great fit for every client. That's why I like to do this little session that we get to do right here, where I'm going to sit down and go through all your health history and chat with you a bit. I want to make sure you feel like you've shared with me everything that I need to know to be able to train you really well. But at the same time, I also want to make sure you get to hear about my training styles and my philosophies, my education, and what I do here to be able to help you. And so as you tell me about your limitations or your goals and anything else, I'm going to give you a little bit back about what I can do to assist that and why, how it'll help, what it'll do, what we'll do, why it'll work, etc. And I do want to, at some point, let them know I've got a master's degree in personal training and sports science. I've got a bachelor's degree in kinesiology. I'm a CSCS. I'm an NSCA, blah, blah, blah. Go through a lot of your credentials, your experience. I've been doing this since 1999, full-time since 2004. This is my career choice. I don't do this on the side as a part-time job while also doing whatever else. This is me. I'm a professional coach, professional trainer, and I'm here to do this. You're trying to reassure them and let them know that you're someone that this time and effort and investment is going to be a good one spent on because I'm a professional. It's not a part-time effort. You're not going to get a part-time result from me, okay? So right away, I want to try to overcome any objections to that. The trainer wasn't any good, didn't know what they were doing, or it was an unprofessional environment or experience for them. I am the opposite of all of that. And then I let them know too, there are many different forms of exercise out there. Mine is resistance training heavy because I think that's what you need the most. However, we're going to do power and mobility and balance and stability and coordination. And we're going to train everything that needs to be trained. But my personal philosophy is you need to be strong as a foundation before any of those other things can really be improved. So we're going to establish that first. And I want them to know that. So when they come in and they're like, man, we do a warm up and then there's a whole bunch of lifting and then I condition a little bit at the end. When do I get to, use the pink weights, or when are we going to use more bands, or do we ever just do body weight workouts? And it's like, well, yeah, we'll do a little bit of all that stuff, but right now I need to get you strong. We need to set the expectation is the point. And I also let clients know at that moment too, that even though there are many different styles, not every style fits for every client. And so some coaches would say this is a mistake. I don't think so. I let the client know, if this does not feel like a good fit for you, please tell me. I don't want you to sign up for a month and then feel like you're stuck here getting a service that you don't actually like or enjoy or believe in. If we do the sample session, you try your free workout and you go, this just isn't for me, please tell me. Just let me know, because I'm dialed into this profession. I know people all over the place. And so if you want something that's more cardiovascular, you want something that's more community camaraderie, rah-rah. Like, I know boot camp coaches over at Fitness Rangers. I know strength coaches over at Minnie's House of Pain. I know gyms and people all over the place, from Anytime Fitness to Snap to FitBody to I can refer you to wherever you need to go. I just want to help you find what level of fitness is best for you. You were referred here because you have a bad back or a bad hip, etc. But that doesn't mean you have to stay here, is my point. So I want to help you find your fitness. And I'm going to give you my best bet and effort that I'm your guy. But if not, let me know. I will let you know that it really takes people's guard down when you say something like that to them. And on occasion, we have had people do a session and they go, you know what, this isn't for me. And I'll say, well, what are you looking for? And then I will connect them to the right service. They'll go there. We won't feel awkward because they got what they wanted and I helped them get there. And then when their mom or dad or colleague or whoever else needs a really good resistance training coach, who do you think they think of? I didn't steer them wrong. I just wasn't the right guy for them. And that's okay. So their mom's like, my doctor said I have bone density issues and I need to get stronger. Where should I go? Robert, that guy took care of me. He was a strength training coach. Boom. And now I've earned my client. So I always think it's a good thing to try to connect your people to whatever they need. And ideally, I'm the one. But if not, let's find the right fit. I'm okay with that. Motivation and commitment. I'm not sure I'll stick with it. Fear of failure or past inconsistencies with fitness habits. That's totally understandable as well. And a lot of times there's motivation that's lacking, consistency of a really good coach doing follow-ups, making sure they stick with it, accountability to it. That's where training in smaller groups, I feel like, really fits in well. If you're in a huge group of 40 people, you can get lost sometimes. Sometimes coaches don't even know that you're not there. But one-on-one, you can often feel like all the attention, all the eyes are on you, and that can be a little, maybe more than you've bargained for. Also could be really expensive. So semi-private, small group seems to be really nice, where you're in a group, everyone has good camaraderie and commitment to each other. They all want to be there for each other. They're expecting to see each other. We all work hard because we're all there, and good accountability to that. It's a little bit more affordable. Good semi-private training should be, in my opinion, very similar to one-on-one training, because it's, if not a better product, it's a very similar product in my opinion. So it could save them some money, but at the same time, just brings a much better training experience. And that can be all that's been lacking from one-on-one personal training to a semi-private group that they feel now connected to and accepted into. And success rates from there can be very, very high. From achieving the goals to just simply enjoying it a lot more, to showing up consistently and everything in between. So a lot of times it's just finding the right fit, the right people. Sometimes you put them in one group and it's not the right group, put them in a different group, that's the right group. Everybody clicks. And that's where part of our initial sit down, that assessment and observation, is to take in what kind of person you have sitting in front of you. And what are they looking for? And what kind of personality do they have? And who are they going to fit in with? Because a lot of times your big parrot, outgoing, talkity-talk clients, they're not going to do great with 3 other doves who are very shy and they don't really talk a whole lot. And maybe they love being around 3 other parrots and everybody just gobble, gobble, gobble. And they all, well, that's more of a turkey. But they all kind of talk, right? And enjoy it. But time comes to work, we go, and then they can all, chat afterwards. Just depends on the environment and the group. Let's try that to see if we can't be more motivated. Maybe you need regular check-ins with coach, with me, more consistency in text messages or follow-ups, or just checking in, making sure they're doing well. Maybe they need a literal check-in, like something they come in and they initial and mark off every day to show that they were here. And the goal to get all 12 sessions in this month, 3 days a week, that kind of a thing. Sometimes it's just one extra thing that might make the big difference and help kind of push them over the top. All right, preference for independence. I prefer to work out on my own. I would say that this is probably one of the ones that's a little bit easier to object to, because a lot of times when a client says, I don't need a trainer, I like to work out on my own and I prefer to do that. A lot of times you can say like, well, why are you here then? Or why are we even having this discussion? I don't literally mean to say that to them, just inquisitively, internally, like, why are we having this discussion then? Because if you were happy with everything you were doing and you preferred to work out on your own, you wouldn't have contacted me or talked to me or engaged with me, because obviously you're looking for something, thus why I'm in front of you right now. So is that just programming? Because if that's the case, I can help there too. You're like, I don't need motivation. I don't need someone to rah-rah and yell at me. I just don't know what to do. Okay, well, I can give you programming. Here's programming. Here's 12 workouts a month. Go get them, right? That's great. And they're like, well, I want to check in too. Okay, cool. But I don't want one-on-one. All right, that's fine too, right? I mean, maybe that's a service you offer. Maybe it's not. It's up to you. But if that's the case, there's a reason why they're in front of you. You need to find that in this case. So they just say like, I prefer to be independent. I like to work out on my own. Okay, I mean, you came into my gym, so why are you here? You know, like that's when I would ask like, okay, so how can I help you in your quest of independent fitness? And they're like, well, I'm just not gaining the muscle mass that I want and losing the body fat in the right areas. And so I just need better programming, I guess. Okay, now we're talking. Now I understand why you're here. Now I can speak to that and give a little bit more direction, okay? And then the last one is just general misconceptions about personal training. Personal trainers are just bodybuilders or athletes themselves. They're uneducated, etc. This is a totally understandable objection as well, because a lot of times you see a personal trainer, and personal trainers come in all shapes and sizes. Sometimes they're in amazingly good shape to the point where you're intimidated. You're like, oh my gosh, this person only eats, skinless boiled chicken and broccoli and, angel wings. Like what makes you look like this? Like you look amazing. You've never had a piece of sugar in your life. And it's like, you don't even know what pizza smells like. I have a whole section of my body made of pizza, and you don't even know where to get one at. That can be a coach. That's a magazine cover coach, very intimidating. That's a very committed, driven individual who's very dedicated and hardworking. And those are all things that I would probably want in a coach. So if that's a desired outcome, then I think that's probably not a bad coach to look at. Just don't judge the book by the cover, in this case, being that the cover looks fucking amazing and I'm intimidated by it. Like that's okay. At least for one person that they've worked with themselves, their system works. So I think it's worth a discussion. If you're overly intimidated by that, on the other end, you might find a coach who's not in shape at all. And I used to be. I was this coach for a little bit. I used to be in really good shape, or I got injured and I missed my chance. And so now I'm still into fitness, but I just don't actually do it myself. I did this for a window of my career where I was in great shape and very, very fit. And then I really jacked up my back and I blew up my hips. And any exercise that I did really seemed to hurt me. And until I figured out that I needed to do my own programming for older adults at age 30, okay, well, let me give that a shot. Then everything started to change. And I started to build back a physique that looked like someone who trained. And granted, you can't see my abs. You can definitely tell that I've got some muscle, and I'm proud of that. And after you hear all my limitations and things I've gone through, people will typically be like, wow, that's good. I've got a bad hip too. And I'm like, cool, that's what connects us. I've got a bad back too. Cool, that's what connects us. Like, I'm not in perfect shape. I totally get it. But I've had very challenging physical limitations to overcome and been able to get myself back into a semi-decent level of fitness. I think I can do that and help you as well. And so a lot of times the completely deconditioned individual might have a really good story or experience and a truth to the fact of why they aren't in great shape at the moment, but they're on their own journey as well. Still worth the discussion. And then you're going to have people in between. who, look to be fit, but they're not magazine cover fit. And they're not out of shape, but they're not perfect either, right? Like they're kind of right in the middle, and they're really into this, and they're passionate, and they're excited. And that's typically where I'd say most coaches kind of lie. You could look at them and say, that person looks fit and strong and this, but they're not overly intimidating. And it's not this, perfect abdominal physique and tan, and perfect hair and all this. As you can tell, I have lots of hair envy. It's not any of that. Hair envy. There you go. It's not any of that. It's somebody right in the middle. There are great coaches that come in all shapes and sizes across the board. This is where discussions really come in. Communication, sit down, have a chat. If it's not what you're looking for, move on to somebody else. Kind of like speed dating. Go to another gym, go to another trainer. We don't take it personal because guess what? A lot of times we don't want to train you either. Like a lot of times you meet people and I'm like, nice to meet you. And in my head, I'm like, no way. Zero availability in my schedule for this person. Rare, right? Not all the time, but rare. I'll meet somebody and right away I'm like, this is not going to work. I can tell you right now, not going to work. And they might have a Packers shirt on. I'm a Bears fan. This isn't going to work. Just kidding, Jen. Right? I mean, little situations here and there, little things, not a huge deal. And then other times you just click and it's like, this is going to be amazing. I can feel it already. And you're right. And 22 years later, there's Ruth and Linda and Lori and Bob and Elizabeth and my Judith and Gary and all my clients and Mark and Emily, all these clients that I've been training for 20 plus years. You just fit with some folks and it works really well. You keep doing your thing because you're a professional. All right, gang, I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it gave you some good direction, some ideas, some objections to how you can talk to your clients and maybe help them overcome some of their limiting factors, why they want to come in and commit with you. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up, share, all the things to help us grow our community. We appreciate it. Until next time, please continue to fight your good fight against sarcopenia, and we will see you in the next one. Take care.